You have partnered with Coachmen Apex to create a custom unit that you had a hand in designing. How is that going, and when are you hoping to get that unit?
How is the design process going? Well, I'm in massive overload design ideas, flooring ideas, lighting ideas, wallpaper, couches, accent wall, doors, fixtures, colors. It's an extremely overwhelming process.
To back up a little bit, the whole process started in August.
Yeah.
It started in July for us. We kind of created a floor plan layout.
Well, explain how we created this, because this is kind of interesting.
We were backpacking across Europe, and at night on my iPad, I was cutting and pasting things and putting together a little design.
I went to a little store and I got some graph paper and some pencils, and we just started kind of putting together what we thought would be the ideal rig. And we pitched that to the Apex team when we got back in August.
They loved the ideas and started incorporating some of that into a real floor plan.
They've even incorporated one of the ideas already, so that's really exciting.
As far as timeline goes, so it's now April, so from August to April, we've gone about 7 months, and we're thinking maybe by the end of 2025 we might be in that new rig, but we don't know. Things move fast and then they don't.
I think the biggest thing is that we are in the part of stretching other people's imaginations for what the rig could be.
For what a travel trailer can be.
Exactly. In design, of course, in layout, in
amenities,
practical ability, in the practical sense of how are we going to make this not just yours, but go down a line. This is going to not just be your rig, but for a bunch of people. How does that work? And that's what Brian and I have to think about, because we are thinking about all of you, every consumer. And that's I don't know, what's your design style? It's different than your design style. And so that's a bigger thought process.
Right. They've talked a little bit about the 80-20 rule, where 80% of the people can only dislike about 20% of what's going on. Otherwise, they're like, I don't want this.
Yeah. You don't want the design to be so bold that people are like, oh, that's not for me.
I'd buy that if it wasn't that color.
Yeah. So it's really fun. I hope in the end that they fall in love with everything we've come up with. Obviously, that's probably not going to...
you fall in love with everything we came up with.
Most importantly, yes. Please tell them that the Colemans have good taste. Please, please, please. So hopefully by the beginning of 2026, we will all get to see what it looks like.
If you had one tip to give a first-time RVer, what would it be? What do you wish you knew when you first started RVing?
If I had to give one tip to an RV newbie, I actually would have to give 2. Honestly, I could probably give 12. But the first one would be know your manufacturer. Who is actually making your rig? And that's a complicated answer, really, because there's for example, with Coachmen, there's Forest River, that's the umbrella. Then there's Coachmen. But even under Coachmen, there's so many different types of rigs. And knowing them by looking at YouTube videos, doing some research online, who is that manufacturer that makes the rig? What are the things that they do that you really like in the manufacturing process?
That's true, and you can get to know them. You reach out, if you're going to be up in northern Indiana, reach out to the customer service for your rig, whatever that is, and see if you can arrange to come in and take a tour of the factory, whether it's running during the week or on a Friday afternoon like this where things are closed down and it's very quiet. It's just cool to see.
Yeah, finding out how the walls are made, the roof's made, what's this material that it's made of? What are some of those extras that they do? What about the finishes? I think looking at all of that, the whole picture, so you can decide what's in your price point, of course, and what is it about those features that you really like. We did that research, that's how we landed where we are, but not to say that that's the right rig for you. That's my first tip, for sure.
All right, well, before you give your second tip, let me give my tip,
and
we'll see if we overlap.
Okay.
My tip would be prepared for anything.
Yeah.
and be ready for anything, because it's not a matter of if something is going to break or if something's going to go wrong on your trip. It's just when is it going to happen.
You're taking a box and you're rolling it down the highway, which in essence is like an earthquake for your box with wheels.
We've put close to 60,000 miles on our rig in 8 years. And we've had all kinds of little things go wrong, and we've had all kinds of really big things go wrong with an axle and things like that. So you just have to be ready for it, and you just have to go with the flow and pivot and realize that if you've got plans, well, you can change them.
When you buy an RV, don't just budget for buying the RV, budget for all the stuff that you are gonna have to buy with it. Are you gonna keep plates in the RV? Are you gonna keep cooking supplies in the RV? What kind of hoses do you need? What's all the outside stuff to furnish your kitchen? Like all the stuff that goes into an RV, you may already have, but you may also want to have a budget for it. I love that all of our stuff to cook and clean and live is in the RV. The only thing we have to pack up when we go camping is our food and our clothes. And we even have a couple of items of clothing that just stay in there. So yeah, a lot of tips, but there is a lot to go into buying a new RV. But whatever you do something, take an adventure.
And last but not least, what's your favorite RV meal? It doesn't have to be fancy.
Well, it doesn't always have to be this fancy, but tonight we're grilling tilapia for fish tacos. But I mean, sometimes we love to just throw together a crock pot, or, well, have pizza delivered to the campground, or just weenies on the fire.
My favorite campground meal is whatever he's cooking. I am so lucky that I don't have to cook anything. But we have camped in like Bar Harbor, Maine, and Channel Islands, the Florida Keys, anywhere in southern Florida, where we go get fresh local fish. And we love making fish tacos. Like I remember us sitting in Malibu, California with fresh fish, overlooking the ocean and eating fish tacos.
And this is why we never eat on camera.